In today's topic, we'll see how we can create table and add data to that, or say insert data to the table what you have created. And we'll also see how we can import the data from various sources. First, we'll see how we can create the table. This is my screen. I'll go to this create. Here I have various objects which we saw in the previous session. Now, when I say if you want to create a table, either I can create by using this table or by using this table design. Use this table design. This is the correct way of creating the table. It's the easiest way of creating the table. Let me click on this table design. I'll get one layout like this. This is where I'll be creating the table, that is adding all the fields to that table which you are creating. Here we have a small table which says field name, data type and description. Field names are nothing but the column names what we are creating for the table which you are creating now. Now when you go here, first you have to decide what kind of table we are creating. Let's say I want to create an employee table, employee details table. So what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll list down all the fields, the information what I'm actually trying to store about an employee. The first thing what you have to do is always in a table, use this ID, employee ID. You can see this, I'm using this underscore, I'm not giving any space here. The reason is when you write a query, that is in the next section when you learn that, when I'm writing a query, if I have a space, then I have to use, so many other options. Instead, the best practice is don't give this space, give something like this emp underscore ID. Suppose if you still want to give space, it is not a problem, it will take. But try and see if you cannot, if you can avoid these spaces. Okay, I gave the field name. Now let me click to the next row here. I'll get one data type as short text. We'll come to this later. First, we'll list down all the fields what we are trying to save, or fields having in the table which we are creating. Next one, we'll say employee name. Next, we'll say we'll take age, then employee gender, then we'll take employee mobile, then we'll say employee, say email, then we can also store employee address, then we'll say employee date of birth, then employee, we'll say salary. So we have some information to store. So all these are the fields wherein I'll be storing my data. Now if you say this, for all these fields, I'm getting data type as short text. First we'll understand what is this data type. Data type means it is actually a kind of data what I'm actually storing. Say that means in this employee ID, I'll be storing what kind of data. In this age, I'll be storing a number. Let's say in name, I'll be storing a text. Say, if you go to this email, then there will be something different data type. If you go to this salary, some different data type. Say date of birth, it will be a different data type. If I put it as short text, what will happen is the user can enter any text here, wherein I need to validate the data. Suppose if I go here, say in age, you should enter only numbers. And if I say email, then you have to enter only hyperlinks. Or say in date of birth, you should enter only date. So likewise, I have to classify the fields into different data types depending on the data I'm storing in that field. Now when I say employee ID, here we'll take it as short text only because IDs can be a combination of text and numbers. But there'll be a limit for that. Say there'll be a limit of, say, some employee IDs will be 6 characters to 10 characters, something like this. If you go and check here in this property window, this is called as property window, where for all the fields there'll be some properties. If you see here, say employee ID, it says short text, and you can see it is 255 characters. When I say 255 characters, that means it is for one record, it is occupying 255 characters. But for me, the employee ID is, let's say we'll take it as 6 characters. So unnecessarily, let's not waste the the remaining number of characters. I'll just put it as 6. You can keep it as 255 only, but still it is waste because you're just using only 6 characters out of that 255 characters. Next is employee name. Here I cannot fix the number of characters because the number of characters might differ. Some name will be very small, some name will be like very big. So it depends on the number of characters. So we cannot actually decide how many characters are there. Let's leave it as short text with 255 default characters. Now let's come to this age. When I come to this age, this should be number. Let me click on this drop down here. I'll have so many different options. Let me select this number. When I select this number, that means this age will accept, that field age will accept only number. In number again, we have few other options as well. You can see this byte, integer, long integer, all this. When I say byte, that means it will take up to 255, the number 255. When I say integer, it will take up to 32,767. When I say long integer, it is above 32,767. Suppose if you think that you want to store some values like this, you can select it. Let's say age will not go beyond say 100. Then I can take only this byte. This is just to manage my memory space, that's it. Now, if you want to store a decimal number, here I have decimal number, or I can use this double for storing the decimal numbers. As of now, in this, I'll just say byte so that I can store up to 255 as the value. Next is mobile, the gender. Gender is again a text. It can be male or female, or I can also use M or F to recognize the gender. So what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll make it as one character. When I say one character, that means one character is enough for me to use this M or F, that is male or female. Coming to this mobile, just leave it as is because here sometimes what will happen, I will be storing some code say within brackets or say +91 or say within bracket the country code and all. So as of now, I just leave it as is. Don't change this to number. Email. Email means it's something like a hyperlink. Let's go here. I'll take this hyperlink. Address. Address may not be just 255 characters. It may increase. It may go beyond 255 characters as well. So in that case, we need to have more characters. When I say short text, it will take up to 255 characters only. So what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll take this long text. When I say long text, it can go beyond 255 characters. Suppose if anyone is using MS Access 2010 and below version, this long text is actually named as memo, and short text will be just text. Okay, so don't get surprised if you see text and memo. If it is text and memo, that means the version is actually 2010 and below version. Okay, fine. Next one is date of birth. Date of birth means it is actually a date format. Let's click here. I have this date time. Select this. This will get changed to date format. That means I can enter here date format instead of entering some text or unwanted data. Salary, we'll take it as currency. Here we'll have currency. See, taken this currency. You can go or you can change the format if you want. You can change whichever format you want. You can select here. Right. As of now, I'll just keep it as general. Fine. So we have created the field and we also adjusted the data type for this. So this is how you'll actually have to plan the table. Not only here, in any software, you should plan the table, then the fields inside that, and the data type which you are trying to assign for these fields. Now the table is ready. I'll go here, I'll close this. It asks for save changes. I'll say yes. Well, naming, always name it something like this. Say TBL, that means table. The prefix underscore, I'll say EMP details and say okay. It asks for something called as primary key. As of now, I'll say no. Now the table is created. Let's see how the table actually looks. Double click on this. See, this is how my data looks. Means sorry, the table looks. Now I need to enter the data inside this. Let's go here, employee ID. I've given it as 6 characters, say EMP001. See, I'll try to enter more characters, it will not allow because I had taken 6 characters only. Let's go to this employee name. I'll try to enter a name. Age, let's say some age I'll give. Gender, see, I'll give M. Now I cannot put more than one character. Let's go to this mobile. So we can use the mobile number here. Then email, get given hyperlink. See, if it's a hyperlink, if you move my cursor here, it will come like this hand symbol. That means it is hyperlinked. Address, we'll go here. We'll give an address here. Let me click here. See, if it is a date data type, I'll get one calendar kind of thing here. So I can go and select here. Also, you can type like this. Then the salary, I'll give here something like this. This is one record which I'm entering in the table. Now let me close this. Now if you open this, the data will be saved here like this. Something similar to our Excel sheet what we have. But in that Excel sheet, we'll have column headers, row headers and all. Here it will not be there like that. Whatever fields you have created, that will be available here. Let's enter one more data here. Let's say EMP001. And here, then I'll enter an age. And here I'll enter something like this. Then next, then we'll enter date of birth. And here we'll enter some number. If you see here, the employee ID is getting duplicated. So two employees are having same employee ID, which is not correct. Then the age, if you see, I'm entering that 200. Then employee gender, it should be either M or F. I'm entering Z there. And salary, here it is going, some big number they are entering, wherein it should not be like that. So I need to validate this. One validation what we did was giving the data type so that they'll enter only proper data. See here, if you go and enter a text, it will not allow because we have given the data type as number here. But I'm able to enter the greater number. So it is meaningless actually entering age as 200, 250 or something. So I need to avoid this. I need to still validate this. And here if you see it says Z, wherein it should be MRF. That means I need to validate the columns. How to do this? Let me just delete the invalid record, or we can delete the entire table itself. Why I'm deleting all the records here is whenever you are creating a table, make sure that you will finish all these process. I just created one table and showed you how what all problems we'll be facing if you're not giving a proper data type and proper validations. Now let's go to this design. Now after you create the table, again you can go to design. Either I can go here, say design mode, or I can go to this navigation pane here. I'll say right click and say design. I'll come back to this same design mode. The first thing, we'll go and check this age. The age was supposed to be, let's say it should be from 25 years to 60 years only. They should not allow me to enter any age below 25 and also any age after 60 because these are employee details. My employee should be from 25 to 60 years only. So what we'll do, if you come here, there is something called as validation rule and validation text. Validation rule means I'm applying a rule on this field. Validation text is the message when we get, when you are entering a wrong data. So let's go here. I'll say validation rule. Now for me, the age should be between 25 and 60. I'll go here between 25 and 60. Just mention it like this, between 25 and 60. Or you can also mention greater than 25 and less than or equal to 60. Like that also you can mention. In this validation text, so what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll say, please enter age between 25 and 60. Let me close this and I'll say save. Now let's go and try to enter employee ID, employee name, and here let me enter 80. See, it will not allow. It is saying please enter age between 25 and 60 because we have validated. Similarly, we'll do the validation for the gender as well. Right click, design view, we'll go to this gender. Here we'll go to this validation rule and validation text. Here I'll say validation rule, I'll say M or F. Either it should be M or F, that's all. M or it can be F, nothing other than this. Let me go here and I'll mention please enter proper gender code, and let me put it like this so that the user will know that you have to enter proper gender code. Alright, similarly what we'll do, we'll go to this salary also and we'll do the validation for this also. Let's say the salary should be from 500 to 1500 only, it should not go beyond that. So how to do, again same thing, I'll go here, say between 500 and 1500. Again we'll mention the text saying that please enter salary between 500 and 1500. Let's save this. Now when I double click on this, now let's go and try to enter the data. The employee 001, then employee name, then age. Now let's try to enter beyond 60. It will not allow. Let me go here, I'll say 35, it will take. Gender, now let me again type Z, it will not take. I should either type M or F. Let's say I'll type M, it is taking. Mobile number, then email ID, then date of birth, we'll just give date of birth. If you want, you can validate this also. Now let me enter more than 1500. See, now let's go here, I'll say 1000. Now the data is valid because we've given the validation. Let me copy this and I'll paste it here. Now there is again a problem. I have copied and pasted here. Now if you say this, I'm getting two employee IDs. That is two employee IDs with the same employee ID name. The two information has got same employee IDs. This should not happen. So what we'll do, we'll remove this data. We'll go to design again. Here, what we should do is this employee ID, we'll make it as a primary key. Primary key means it is a main key in a table, which will actually make sure that we'll have unique IDs or say unique values in that column. The reason is this table is a master table, means it is actually used by another table for reference. That is, it is taking the value from this IDs. So what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll make it as primary key. If I make it as primary key, that means I cannot enter duplicate values in this. Let me close this, say yes. Now let me copy the same data. Instead of typing again, I'll just put it here. Now you just say, I'll click outside. See, it will not allow. It says the changes you requested to the table were not successful because they would create duplicate values in the index primary key or relationship. Okay. Now it is saying to change the reference or remove that primary key so that you can enter this data. As of now, it will not allow to enter because it is duplicate. Let me make it as 2. Now it will allow. This is how you can create the table. You can create any table you want and then you can save the data. This is for creating a table. That is, manually I'll create a table and manually I'll enter the data here. So whatever table I create, that will be created here and I can see in the navigation pane, and whatever data I'm actually adding, that will be there inside the table. Whenever I want, I can just close it, open it, that will be available. This is for creating the table. Now, every time I cannot keep creating the table and again adding the data like this. There'll be thousands of data, lakhs of data, which I cannot keep sitting and entering. Instead of that, what also we can do is we can import the data from various sources. Various sources in the sense, let me go here. I have this external data. Here I have a list of sources what I can import the data. So if I go here, I can import it from Excel or say XML, HTML, text file. HTML is nothing but the web pages. XML is something related to this, the data in a different format. Then you go to this database. Here I can take the data from Access itself or any other server based database, or also I can pull the data from internet as well. So like this, I have various different options where I can pull the data. So let's see, I have some data here, say with different formats. Let's try to import the data here. First, we'll see with an Excel sheet. Go to this external data, new data source. Let's click on this from Excel and I'll say Excel. When I click on that, the import and say Excel, here I'll get one window. The data can be imported in 3 different ways. One is import as a new source, then append with the existing table, or a link to the existing table. Now let's take this. First we'll import the data. This import, what it will do is it will take the data, but there won't be any links between the source and the destination later. Now let me take this path and then I will put it here. Instead of browsing here, I'll say browse. It will take me to this folder. Now I can select any of this data. Let's select this data. That is Excel sheet. I'll say open, and if I say OK, so I'll get a format of the table what we have, the data what we have here. Now here if you see, first row contains column headings. Now if this is not selected, the data also will be like a this heading also will be like a data. Now let me click on this. First row contains headings. Make sure that your heading will be like this, gray shaded. That means it is heading. If it is like this, that means this will go to data section. Let's select this. First row contain column headings, and then I'll say next. Here it will give me all the data types. It will give me all the columns here, and here it says field name, then the data type. I can change the data type if it is not giving it properly. So what it will do is access automatically, it will give me the data type. If suppose if you want to change this, let's say for example I'll go here, one of the columns here it says discount, select this, it says double, or says sales, it says double. I want to change this to integer. Just click on this, this will become integer. That means all the decimal points whatever is there, that will be ignored, but keep it by default because automatically it will take the default value. And here we have something called as do not import field. Suppose if I don't want any field, so I can just go here and I can select that so that that will not be imported. Let's select this postal code. I'll say do not import. Then let's go here. I don't want this product name. Say do not import. So whichever columns I don't need, I can go and I can select so that that will not be imported. right. Next one, I'll say, if I say next, it'll ask whether I need to have a primary key. So here primary key means, just now we saw, that means a key in a table which will have a unique record, a unique ID to recognize the records. Here it says let access add primary key. If I select this, a new column will be added with a serial number, that is 1 2 3 4 5 till the data where how many ever data we have, like this. But if I already have a primary key, then select this, choose my own primary key here. Say I'll go here and I can select any of the primary key here. Suppose if you think that I don't want primary key for this table, let's say no primary key, and I'll say next. Then last, for the table name, it will give me the default sheet name, whatever we have imported. I'll say finish. The entire table, whatever is there, that will get imported here. Now if you go and check this, see, that table completely got imported, and here you can see the product name and the another column which I selected not to import, the postal code, that will not be available here. Now this is a table which we imported from Excel sheet. Now there is no link between this table and the sheet what we imported. Now here also I can go as a right click and say design view. See, all these columns will be available here. You can modify whenever I want. This is to import the data, that is single table. Now what if I want to import multiple tables from a sheet? Let's go to this external. Again, let's select Excel only. I'll say browse. Here, let's select this sheet wherein I have multiple sheets. See, in Access, you cannot take multiple table, that is at one shot. I cannot take multiple table like this. One at a time I can do. Let's say I'll select this data, say next. Again, it asks for the first row as headers. I'll say first row contain column headings. Say next. Same process again. Now I'll say next. No primary key. Then I'll say finish. Close. See, the data gets imported. Now if you want to import data from the same sheet, whatever we have selected, you can go here, Excel, then I'll select the same file, say open, and say OK. Now here I have other tables. Let me select the ship mode, say next. Now you can see they say my first row, say first row contains column headings. If I'm not selecting this, this will be the data. Now let's say next. You see it says field 1, field 2, and you can see the data here, ship ID. So always make sure that you'll select this so that I'll get the proper headings. Let's say next, next, no primary key, next, and say finish. See, ship mode. That is, I imported two different tables from the same workbook. Likewise, I can take all the tables from that same workbook. Fine. Now let's see how we can import a text file. Say from file, here we have this text file. Let me select this. Here also again I'm telling import the source data into a new table. Let's say browse. This time I'll select this text files. Let me select this one of the text files, say open, and say OK. When I say OK, you can see this exactly like in the Excel sheet what we have, that is text to columns. Similarly, I'll get a window like this wherein it will say delimited and fixed width. Delimited means it will actually take the character which is separating the data into different columns. Now if you say this, I'm using this comma separator as a delimiter. That means the data is getting separated by this comma separator. Say next, and here it will ask what is the delimiter. The delimiter is comma. Here it is saying delimited file, and next I'll say what is the delimiter. Here the data, whatever you see, that heading also has become the data. I'll say first row contains field names. So next, then again we have the same options here, that is the column, the data type, everything. Let's go here. So here it says short text. All these are mentioned as short text. Suppose if you want, you can go here, you can change it here only, or you can go to design mode and you can change there as well. So it's not that you have to change it here only. Let's say I'll go here, I'll make a few of them double. See, select this and I'll say double. Rest we'll go and check there and we'll see how we can make it, how we can change the data type. Now say next, no primary key, next, and say finish. Now the entire data is imported as a separate table here. You can see this. Double click, see. Now this one, these three columns, I actually changed to double. So I'm getting it as a number. But if you see this one, this is like a text. Right click, design view, see here. Now you can go and you can change it from here as well. Let's say the number, you can change it like this as well. Now let's save this. You go to this, see, these columns have become numbers. This one. So likewise, you can import the data from various other sources as well. Right. Let me close this. Now let's go and try to import data from Access. Let's see if I have any Access table here. We have one Access table. See, I'll select this Access table, say open. This is from Access to Access. Now say OK. So what it will do is here it will mention all the tables or queries or whatever I have. Here you can select multiple tables. See, I'll select all this together, or you can go and you can say select all. Say OK. All those tables which were there in this table which we selected now will be imported here as well. See, like this. We saw now how to import the data as a new table. Now let's say if already I have a table. Let's say I have a table. I need to merge with the say append with the data which is already existing. Let's say we'll go here, say import. I'll take one Excel file. Let's assume that here I have multiple files. Let me select one of the file, assuming that all these files have got the same structure. Structure in the sense the column name, the field, the data type of the fields, everything should be similar. Suppose if I have 10 columns here, here also I should have 10 columns with the same field data type. Then only it will append. Let me select this. We'll just take one new file. Let's say my first row has got headers. Next. Then we'll say next, no primary key, and we'll say finish. Let's go and check the data. We just took, where is that data? I think yeah, this one. See, we'll rename it. To say this, I have a data here. Let me just rename this. Right click, again, rename this. Say rename. Here we'll say sales data. Okay, this is the table. Now we'll take one more file. We'll try to append it. Let's check how many records are there. Totally I have 84 records. Now we'll take one more table from that. Let's say we'll go here, Excel. I'll take another file. Let's say I'll take this one, Sony Ericsson. Let's say open now. I'll not say import source data as a new table. I'll go here, I'll say append. When I say append means adding the data in the end, that is after the data what we have in the existing table. Now let me select here. I'll take the sales data, the table which we just imported. Say okay. See, I'll have the same column here, say state, brand, product, whatever, the same columns. Say next, it will not ask for any data type or anything because assuming that all the data types will be similar to the table where I'm appending. I'll say finish. Say close. Let's go and check. So we had 84 records, now 10 more records got added here. See, you can see this, the Sony Ericsson, whatever we had taken, that is in the end. Let's take one more table, some more data here. Say again, say append, browse. This time let's take Samsung. Say okay. You can select proper append. We should have selected sales data. Browse. Then we'll select this Samsung. Say open. Say okay. Now we'll get the columns. Say finish. Let's go and open this. See 104. Now the Samsung got imported here. So likewise, I can append the data by importing as well. The two options what we did now is like you're just importing, that's it. There is no link between the source and the destination. Let me close this. Now we'll see how we can link the data. Link means the source file, whatever is there, the source data, whatever is there. If I update in the source, that should get updated in the access or say the table, whatever we are importing. Let's go here. Let's take one Excel file. This time I'll say link. I'll not take these two options. Browse. Let's take some data here. Let's say we'll take this merge data itself. I'll say open. Say okay. Now if you say it'll ask which table I want. Let's say I'll take the first table, merge table 1. Next, here it says first row contains column headings. I'll select that. Say next, and I'll say finish. It'll give me finished linking, and it is giving me the path here. Say okay, done. You can see the cursor, the icon here near this cursor. This is showing something like an Excel with a small arrow here. That means it is linked. All the other tables what you see here, it is something like a table format, the table icon. But here this one is showing me some small arrow here with an Excel icon. That means this is actually linked. See, if you go here, how many records are there? 25 records are there. Now let me try to edit this. See, I cannot edit this. But here if you go to any of this data, see, I can edit this. I can edit the data like this. Fine. Now we'll try to go and add some data here in the Excel sheet. That is merge table 1. I have this 25 records. Let's go here and I'll open this merged data. See, we have 25 records. The same records were there in the access table here. Where was that? Merge table. See, 25 records are there. Now what we'll do is we'll try to add data for that. Here I'll try to add some more data. Let's select, I'll just drag it. Let's give some random number. I'll just give some small number there now. Instead of having, just give 10 to 200. Now if you see, the values here got changed. Now I'll save this and let's check how many records are there now. There are 66 records now. Previously it was 25. I'll just close this. Now let's open this the table which we linked. Let me just double click on this. Now if you go and check, see there are 66 records. The data also got changed here like this. This is for linking. Now what is the difference between these three types what we imported the data? First one is, when we go here, when I say this one, this is to import the data as a separate table. This will create a new table. Append, what it will do is, it will append the data from a new worksheet, or say from new data, to the existing table in the say access whatever we are already having. Link table, say link to data source, what it will do is, it will link and it will create a new table here, but here this will not actually have a structure here. So what it will do is, it will try to refer the source, and whatever data we are updating there, that will get updated here. So that is the three different options what we have to import the data from other sources. So this is how we can create the table, we can import the table, and then start creating the queries, reports, or forms.